Document sharing is easy, but there are a lot of things that you need to think about when you share a document. So here's that class newsletter that we just put some photos into. I'm going to share this. I'm going to click on my blue share button in the upper right corner, and I'm going to show you some of the different options that you have when you're sharing. First of all, it gives me a link, and right now I'm the owner, so I'm the only one that if I clicked on this link, or even if I sent it to you, it would tell you that you do not have permission to open it, because right now the settings are that it's private. Only the people listed below can access, and that's me. So several different things you can do to share documents. First of all, you can simply go down here to this empty box and add people. So I'll add Stephanie and Marianne. So now, once I share and save this and share it with them, they're going to get an email with a link to they'll get the link to this document right in their email. So in the email, they'll click on it and come right to this document. Now, before I click on share and save, I have some more options. The default is that they can edit. So they can do everything to this document. They can delete what I've written. They can take out my pictures and put in their own. They can share it with other people, all because they are editors. The only thing they cannot do is delete the original document. So they can delete it from their drive, but they can't delete it from mine. So if I want to, though, I can, before I even share and save, or after, you can always go back and change it if you forget, I can give them permission to just comment on it. So if I say that they can, this way they can view it and they can go to insert a comment, but they can't change any of the text in the body of the document itself. So if you're sharing things or having with students, or having students do peer review, tell them that they need to share it with their small group who's going to do the peer review. Canned comment would be the appropriate one for that, because you don't want students changing other students' work. You just want them to be able to comment on what they see. The last view is the most restrictive, and that's can view. So that basically makes it almost like a PDF. They can't change anything, they can't comment, they can open it, they can print it, they can view it, but that's about it. So before you even send it out, you might want to decide these people, what can they do. I'm going to put this back on can comment, and I could choose people from my contacts list if I wanted to. The other thing you'll notice right below here, it says notify people via email. Of course you want to do that. Otherwise, they will not know that you shared a document with them unless they go to my drive and just happen to see a document at the top of their drive, or in their shared with me in their drive. It will be at the top, but there's no other notification that it's there. So leave that checked. You can add a message. And when you add message, then this means when this goes to their email, then the message here appears in the body of their email. So you can tell people here what this document's about, and give them any information you want them to do. You know, things like, hey, could you edit the third paragraph, or would you mind making some comments on what I wrote here and giving me some feedback. So just something real quick like that you could put in their email. And then you can click on, then I would click on share and save. And I'm going to cancel this for right now and show you some other options. Okay, so you can share with specific people or groups simply by entering their information here. So I could put our group in here to start to type it. And here it is, Google Apps, January 2013, 20 contacts. If I don't want to do that, let's go up here and look next to the word private. You see I can change that. So let's go through some of those options. If I make this public on the web, it says anyone on the internet can find it and access it. They would have to know, they could do a Google search and find this document. But down here below, my access right now is anyone. So because this is public, anyone can find it. However, the default is that they can only view it. So if it's not private information, that would be okay. And then I could just send somebody the link. I could, though, let public on the web, anyone can edit. Now, if you do this, they don't even have to have a Google account. So you can do this with, sometimes our schools do this with, if they don't give students, or especially younger students, email, so they don't have a Google account. Teachers can still have kids do collaborative documents simply by making it public on the web or anyone with the link, and then down here change it to can edit. And then they still have permission to, as long as they can click on the link, then they can edit the document. Be careful with that. You might, if you're going to do that, I would change it to anyone with the link. The only difference is you would have to know this real, look at the long link up here. You would have to know what that link is in order to access. There's no way you could search on the internet and just find it at random. So that locks it down a little bit more. I'm going to change this back to can view. Your third option, and mine says Green Hills because that's my domain, that's our Google Apps account for work. Yours would say, if you are a district, if you're using a district Google Apps account instead of a private Gmail account, I could say anyone at Green Hills can find it and access it. Sort of like public on the web, but they have to have a Green Hills Google account. I can lock it down even more and say people at Green Hills with the link can find it and access it. Again, they would need this exact link and a Google account and a Green Hills Google account to be able to access it. And then this is the default we already had, was private. Okay, I'm going to click on save. The last thing that I want to show you is if you, I'm going to add Marianne back on here because you have to do this to show somebody. I'm going to click on share and save. Now, right now it says Marianne can edit. So this is where I said you can go back and change this later if you go, oh, you know what, I really only want her to view it or comment on it. However, you'll notice now I have the option to make her the owner. So if I make, in a Google document, you can only have one owner. So if I start a document for somebody or for a group of people, say, and then I kind of want to turn it over to somebody in that group to be in charge of the one document that cannot be destroyed, I would make them the owner. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave this on can edit for right now. If I wanted to take Marianne off altogether, I would just click the X. Now, one other thing I want to point out that is in very fine print, not a lot of people know about this, and I wish Google would make this stand out more, but once you share it with somebody, right above this done, before you click done, there's this box right down here, or not this box, or this line here. And it says that editors will be allowed to add people and change the permissions. So right now that means that Marianne has the ability to share this document with somebody else. And maybe I don't want her to. If I really don't care that other people see it, that's fine. But there are cases where you want to really lock this down and say, yes, I want her to edit it, but I don't want her to share it with other people. So think about that if you have students in your class and there's the sharing permissions that they have. So to change that, once you have set who you're going to share it with, you have to click on change, and here are your two options. Editors are allowed to add people and change the permissions. They have all editors, the owner and the editors, have full control to add and remove people and change the visibility. Still, only the owner can delete the item. Or to lock it down, you would need to change this to only the owner can change the permissions, and the editors cannot add or remove people or change the visibility of the item. So if I save this, Now Marianne, nothing changes on here. I just know that it's changed. But now Marianne would not be able, she won't see the blue share button. Or if she does, she won't be able to share it with anybody else. Very important to remember that. Then when you're finished, you just click on Done. And Marianne now has an email with the link to my document.